Hi friends, Miss Totsky here. Today, Unit 7, Lesson 11. Your I can statement says, I can compose three-dimensional shapes and compose new shapes from the composite shape. So for today's lesson, you're going to need your worksheet that looks like this, front and back. So go ahead and stop your video right now and grab that worksheet. Perfect. You will also need your 3D shape book. There will be 7 pages. And the thing of it is, friends, is it's 2 books. We will only need 1 book, but if you grab all 7 sheets, that would be great. So again, stop your video and go grab your 3D shape book. All right, the next thing you will need is something to write with. So I suggest you get a pencil, okay, because in math we like to do our work with a pencil. So if you need to, stop your video right now and grab a pencil. Perfect, let's get started. So our I can statement talks about making a shape out of a new shape, or what shapes are used to make a composite shape, or a shape that's put together by more than one shape. So today we're going to work through our first page, Unit 7, Lesson 11. Yours is in black and white. Mine is in color here for you. It says, ring the shapes that you used to make the new shape. So here on the side by the numbers, friends, those are the new shapes. So we need to look here at our shape options and circle, right? Ring means circle. Circle the shapes here that made that composite shape or that new shape. So let's do number 1 together. And some of you might say, oh, Miss Totsky, I already know. That is awesome. Let's take a look. So here, the top of our new shape is a cone. So we're going to circle that cone. And the bottom of that new shape is a cylinder. So let's circle that cylinder. So this new shape here is made up of a cone and a cylinder. Let's look at number 2. Here you have a new shape that is made up of 2 shapes again. Go ahead right now and circle or ring the shapes on the side here that you need to build this. Awesome. I hope you circled the cylinder. Oh, and does anybody remember what this shape is called? You're right. It's called a rectangular prism. Those are tough ones. Remember, because one face here, you can see it, it's a rectangle shape. That means the other shape on the back side is also a rectangle. You can see on the side here, this one is a rectangle. So it is a rectangular prism. Let's look at number 3. Go ahead, look at that new shape, and then circle the shapes on the side here that make this new shape. Go ahead and try that now. All right, friends, let's take a look at it together. The top of our new shape is a cone, and the bottom again is a rectangular prism. This rectangular prism is a little smaller, isn't it? Awesome. All right, let's look at number 4. Now here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. But the question says, what shapes are used? Not how many are used, but what shapes are used. So this one gets to be a little tricky. There's still only 2 shapes that we use to make this new shape. Go ahead and circle or ring the shapes that make this new shape. Awesome, boys and girls. Again, we have that orange rectangular prism. And this time we have you're right, a cube. Awesome, friends. Last one on this page. We have 1, 2, 3 different shapes. I want you to circle those shapes that make this new shape, but I also want you to try to remember what they're called. So go ahead and circle the shapes on the side here that make this new shape by number 5. And then I also want to go back and let's look at these shapes. So the top shape we have is this green shape. What is that called? You're right, a rectangular prism. We've used that a couple times already on this sheet. The middle shape is the blue shape. What is this blue shape called? If you said cylinder, you are correct. And the purple shape is a big cube. You've got it. Great work, friends. Let's flip our sheet over. And on the back side, you're going to see something similar to this. Again, it says ring the shape used to make the larger shape. So here, by the numbers, that is the larger shape. On the right side, you have 3 options. So if we're looking at number 6, there's a larger shape. And then on the other side of that line, there's 3 different smaller shapes. It wants to know what shape was used to make this larger shape. So if we look at it, this first one here that Ms. Totsky is pointing at, was that used anywhere here? I hope you said no. Because if you look here, friends, there's 1, 2 cubes. We don't have 2 cubes that are stacked. We only have a row of 1 cubes. Well, here we have 1 cube, and here we have 1 cube, right? They're not stacked on each other. But then we have to look at the cone on top. If we look at just one of these little shapes inside this larger shape, so if we look just where Ms. Totsky circled, what do we see? The first shape here or the second one? You're right, it's that middle shape. We know it's the middle shape because here, friends, look at that cone is sitting in between the 2 cubes. That would not make this larger shape. Great work. Let's look at number 7. So here, next to the number 7 is a larger shape. Now we have some smaller shapes broken apart here. Which one of these shapes here did we need to make this larger shape? And again, boys and girls, that's a combination of more than 1 shape, right? So if we break this larger shape up, I'm going to try to circle just 1 part. What does that match? The first one, the middle one, or the last one? You're right. Go ahead and circle that first shape where there's a rectangular prism standing upright and then a cube on top. Great work, friends. Oh man, this one gets to be even more challenging. Number 8. Now we have this really big shape, but we have to break it down into smaller parts to figure out which one of these smaller parts was used to make this big shape. Well, if I look at the first smaller part, there's a cube and a cylinder. In this big shape, do we see a cube and a cylinder sitting right next to each other? No, so we know it cannot be that shape. All right, we go next door. Now we have a rectangular prism, a cube, and then a cylinder. Do you see that anywhere? You do. Awesome. Let's look at the last shape. We have a rectangular prism, 2 cubes, and a cylinder. Well, I see in the larger shape 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes, but they're not next to each other, are they? So we know it can't be that shape either. It has to be that middle shape. And if you look at this larger shape, friends, if I cut it in half and I look at just one little part, it looks identical. It looks the same as the smaller shape. Great job, friends. You can put that worksheet aside. Mom and Dad, you're going to ask them to take a picture and send that worksheet front and back to Miss Totsky later, okay? Perfect. Now I want you to get out your 3D shape book. And again, if you look at Miss Totsky's screen, my picture here, I have 2 parts, a top and a bottom. You can cut it in half or just leave it for now. We're only going to do 1 part. Okay, so you pick, do you want the top one or the bottom one? Your choice. And we're going to work together to fill out our shape book. And notice it's the 3-dimensional. It's the solid shapes. The shapes that take up space. So go ahead, put your name on that front cover. And once you do that, flip the page. Your first page should look like Miss Totsky's. All right, your pencil is ready. It says, this solid shape is a blank. A blank has blank face, blank edges, and blank vertex. We need to fill in those blanks. So let's go back to the beginning. This solid shape is you're right, it is a cone. So go ahead and write cone, C-O-N-E, on that first line. And then we need to take that same word and put it on the second line. So it says this solid shape is a cone. A cone, so again, writing that same word, C-O-N-E, has, how many faces, how many edges, and how many vertex? So we need to figure that out. So if we look here, this solid shape has, oh yes, on the bottom it has 1 face. Great job, friends. Now an edge we know is where 2 flat surfaces come together. If we have 1 face, can we have 2 flat edges coming together? No, so we have 0 edges. And right at the top, we have 1 point, right? 1 vertex. Make sure yours looks like Miss Totsky's. And then go ahead and turn the page. We're going to work together again. Same pattern, same question. It says, this solid shape is a blank. A blank has how many faces, how many edges, and how many vertices? So this shape is what do you think? You're right, it is a cube. It is a cube because all of the faces are square in shape, right? There's no rectangulars there. Perfect. Now, we take cube and we put it in that second line as well. So a cube has, how many faces does a cube have? Let's count them. We have 1 on top, 2 is the bottom, 3 is the side, 4 is the other side, 5 is the back, and 6 is the front. You got it. We have 6 faces. How many edges? Remember, an edge is where that flat side comes together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, we have 12 edges and vertices where they come together to make a point. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 way in the back, 6 up front, 7. Can't forget this back one here, 8. So a cube has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Make sure your sheet is filled out like Miss Totsky's, and go ahead and turn the page. The next shape is what do you think? You're right, it's a cylinder. This one is hard. Try not to get this one mixed up with that sphere. They sound similar. Some of us get confused. So we have to write that same word, cylinder. That's a long word. I'll help spell it out for you. It is CYLINDER. So this shape is a cylinder. A cylinder has blank faces, edges, and vertices. So if we look at the cylinder, we have one flat shape on top. That's a circular shape, right? So there's one face, and the bottom is another face. So there's 2 faces. Whoa, Miss Totsky's got out of control there. There we go. So there's 2 faces. How many edges are there on a cylinder? You're right. There are no edges because the faces are circular, right? They're circular in shape. And the side of this cylinder is curved. It is not flat. Great job. And how many vertices are there? You're right, boys and girls. There are no vertices either. So I will read this again. Make sure yours looks like Miss Totsky's. This solid shape is a cylinder. A cylinder has 2 faces, 0 edges, and 0 vertices. When yours looks like Miss Totsky's, go ahead and turn the page. We have a few more shapes left. I think we have 3 more shapes for our shape book. It says this solid shape is a blank. What shape is that? And this one's hard to picture because it is circular. And if we just drew a circle, that wouldn't be you're right, a sphere. Whoops, sorry. Spell it correctly for you. It wouldn't be a sphere if it was just a circle. That's why they have this inner circle, to show that it is solid, that it is a whole object that takes up space. That's what makes it 3-dimensional. So a sphere, go ahead and write that down. SPHERE. A sphere has blank faces, blank edges, and blank vertices. This one is the easiest one, boys and girls, because it has no faces, no edges, and no vertices. So this solid shape is a sphere. A sphere has 0 faces, 0 edges, and 0 vertices. Now, some of you might be wondering, Ms. Totsky, can we color? You bet you can color, but not until after the video is done, okay? So we're going to go through this whole book, and then I'm going to finish giving directions, and then later you can come back and color. All right, let's turn the page. Our next shape has some sides that are triangle shape, and the bottom is a square shape. What is this solid shape called? Does anybody remember this one? If you said pyramid, you are correct. Let's spell that one out. Go ahead and grab your pencil. Here we go. P-Y-R-A-M-I-D. Pyramid. And then we have to write it again. A pyramid has blank faces, edges, and vertices. And boys and girls, at any point, if you need to pause your film, you go ahead and do that. Let's count our faces. We have 1, 2. In the back here, we'll have 3, 4, and then don't forget that bottom face. We have 5 faces. How many edges do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we can't forget the back one here, 8. There are 8 edges. Let Miss Totsky find a different color here. There are 5 faces, 8 edges, and how many vertices are there? How many points do we see, boys and girls? I see 1 up on top. I see 1 on the side. See 1 way in the back. This one's kind of tricky to see. 1 up front and 1 on the other side. So if we count those up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. So go ahead and make sure you have this written down. When you're ready, let's turn the page. Our last shape to our shape book. This one is called you got it, rectangular prism. This one takes up a lot of space, doesn't it? Ms. Totsky's going to have to make her writing a little bit smaller so that it fits on the line. So this solid shape is a rectangular prism. And if you need to do like Ms. Totsky and write rectangular on top and prism on the bottom, that is okay. Let's spell that out. Rectangular. Here we go. RECTANGULAR. And then the second part is prism. PRISM. Great job, friends. Oh boy, we got to spell that one more time. Rectangular prism. Take your time, write that out again. Rectangular prism. So a rectangular prism has blank faces, edges, and vertices. Help me out. Let's count our faces. We have 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. So that's 2. 1 on the side, 3. 1 on the other side, 4. We have the back side, which is 5, and the front, which is 6. So this shape has 6 faces. Let's count our edges. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this front one makes 12. You got it. There's a lot of edges in a rectangular prism. 12 edges. And the last thing we're going to count is our vertices. Remember where those points come together. So 1, 2, way in the back, 3, up front, 4. Let's go to the other side. 5, 6, 7, and in the front is 8. You've got it, friends. There are 8 vertices. When you are done writing all of that down, you can set your book aside for now. And again, when the video is completely finished and you're done with your directions, if you want, you can go back and do some coloring. All right, let's put our stuff aside. Ms. Totsky wants to give you the directions for your other worksheets today. These you're going to do on your own. Okay, the first one looks like the one on the board here. It says 3D shapes. You're going to color each shape by the color they want you to. So if you look here, friends, if you wanted to grab your sheet, you could. And the color on the sheet here on the video is the color you're going to color those shapes. So for example, the cone is yellow. It says color the cones yellow. Color the cubes orange. Color the cylinders green. Color the sphere blue. Color the pyramids pink. And color the rectangular prisms red. I want you to do this sheet. Let's color as neatly as we can today. Okay? And then, friends, you're going to also ask Mom and Dad to take a picture and send that to Miss Totsky. The next sheet is called Yum Yum Yummy. So this Mr. Raccoon here, he is going on a picnic. He wants you to cut out the food on the bottom, and you're going to sort the food and glue them in the right areas. So glue the food that are cubes in the cube area. The sphere food in the sphere area, and so on. This one, if you want to send to Ms. Totsky, you can, but you do not have to. One other thing I want you to do today is lesson 7.11, Think Central. There's only 5 problems. Now, if you look at Ms. Totsky, the last part of your packet looks like this. It says exploring 2D flat shapes and exploring 3D shapes. These here, friends, are just for you. You can put them on the wall. You can color them. You can do whatever you would like. Okay, so that's just some extra information for you. So let's review. You should have done Unit 7, Lesson 11 with Ms. Totsky, the worksheet. You also already did the 3D book. So your job now, after the video, is to do this last 3 items. So you're going to do the Think Central work for 7.11. you're going to do the 3D shapes, the coloring worksheet, and then the Yum Yum Yummy worksheet. When you're all finished, take some pictures and send it over to Miss Tatsuki. I would love to see your work. And we will see you back here next time.